Yo bro, this is crazy. I'm going to be attempting to pass this 10k account from FTMO. This is a demo account, 10k demo account. I'll be attempting to pass it. You see that the profit target is actually sometimes it's how much? Ish. I have to go back to the sign up. Okay. So the profit target is usually like 10% of the account, so it'll be around 10% of 10k. That's 1k. I think that's 1k. Yeah, 1k. I think it's it must be like around 5%. Let me first check. I think it's 5%. Okay. We shall be attempting to pass, and then we shall FTMO. It's called FTMO. But it's a bit slow. Okay, I should be attempting to reach at least 500 on this 10k account. 500. Can I make $500 in a single day? That's the question. So we go to here in JPY, and what we want to see is something crucial. What we want to see is that price should come underneath the low. I don't really see that on your USD. So go to your USD, and your USD is actually now starting to give us the momentum that we need. You see that it's starting to become bullish. Okay, so your USD, yeah, we are going to have some good entries in the near future, because we have seen that price has come above this level the first time. So this is the second time that price is coming above this level. Go to the M15, and the M15 is looking kind of dope, but it's overextended, so I'll wait a bit. For GBPUSD, I go to the higher time frames, of course, and I see that price on the H1 has been we had some bit of a support over here. This was a level of support, if you guys observe, and price is making higher highs in the market. So you see that from the weekly perspective, price is above an area of resistance in the markets, and we know that anything above that level is good for buys. Therefore, GBPUSD is going to start buying, and we can start hopping in our buys with some good lot sizes, because we know that anything above this level is good for buys from the weekly perspective, that is. And yeah, I'll just add on one single position. Let's say 0.11 will be good deal, okay, because it will be good for holding. And then for USD card, I've been showing you guys that price is starting to sell on most of the USD pairs. Okay, even USD JPY, price is starting to sell, and if you go to the H4, realize that price is actually starting to sell, and we're expecting this sell to continue all the way down, because price was making if you guys observe, anything above this level is good for buys. But what happened next is that price failed to make a new indication for buys. So if you guys don't understand, price has to cross above this area over here, so that we can have an indication that price wants to go higher. Okay, but instead we formed a new lower low in the market. So this was a bit of a lower low in the market, and I'm expecting that price is likely now to start dropping, so that we can create another area of support before price continues pushing up. So this will be the first area that we see. So this is another area over here, so price can come underneath over here. That's why I'm going to be holding price a bit. And then as I told you guys, I'm holding that trade on another account. So if you guys observe, go to this, sorry, not this one, you go to the MT5, sorry, go to the MT5 over here. We see that we are holding this trade in the MT5, so nothing crazy, but I will see that so far price hit our TP in the first one. Okay, price is still selling, okay, which is good. But I shall go to, let's go to the chart, so that we can see if we can add multiple positions. So go to the chart over here. Price is starting to stall. By stalling, I mean price doesn't want to go lower or higher, but we know that price is going to sell eventually. So I don't know why anyone will. Okay, we cannot add any more 6 lot position. Let's just put only one single position for sale. Yeah, and then we shall hold this until I think next week. Not next week necessarily, but I mean price is about to start selling. Stop loss for this one, the first one is there, and it will be around That's some big stop loss, but you know, when you're risking, you have to risk big. Okay, and let's wait and see what price gives us. Eventually price will come to its senses and we shall start selling, but there isn't so much of a worry here. We know that price is going to start selling, and if it doesn't sell and we get stopped out, we shall get another funded account, because honestly this one I'm really tired trading hit for now, because we're already in drawdown of $800, bro. Yeah, and really want to increase our lots in the beginning. So but we're using lots of free margin, so I'll close this trade, and also I'll close this one lot trade. Okay, because I was using a big lot, so let's not use too much margin. Okay, but let's wait for price to start dropping on USD JPY. Yeah, so price has crossed the 4407 on gold, so gold is now starting to, I think, buy sell. Let's go to gold. If you go to chart over here, the price is selling on gold. Something is happening. Price is starting to sell. Go to the H1. Yeah, the H1 is showing me the clear indication that price wants to sell on gold, but I don't have enough money because I've added a big lot on USD JPY. But gold is really going to sell, so I'll use 0.5, maybe 0.05. Okay, so gold will sell. I don't know till maybe till here. $40. So for gold, SDJPY has been faking me out really, so I don't really have much to say on it, but it's been faking me out really, and I think it's testing a lot of my patience. It's taking lots of my patience to hold. USDJPY is taking lots and lots of patience. You see this area over here, price made an indication that wanted to sell by breaking underneath the level of support. Therefore, if price fails to hold underneath that level of support, we may have another continuation move to the downside. Simple as that. But price is actually just playing around, you know, playing games with my mind, which I don't really get, because price is going to sell on USDJPY. And to be honest, I don't know why anyone should become anxious. But above all, for gold, I don't really see anything indicating. So for instance, let me show you guys what I mean. On gold, anything above this area over here on gold is gonna be good for buys. Okay, so you have to go to the low time frames. You go to your low time frames, like the M1. Check on your M1. Okay, you see that price has come above the level. This is the second time that price has come above the level. Okay, and price already shifted structure. So for gold, we shall start buying at least okay, 2 positions enough. Then we shall close this sell, because it will make no sense for me to sell gold when price is clearly in an uptrend. Okay, so this will be my stop loss, and then the TP is gonna be at around this area over here. But because now I want you guys to observe how my trades always fake me out. Okay, I'm just making a tutorial so that you guys can get a clear picture on what goes through your mind when you're trading off session. Okay, so New York session is the best session to trade, because as I've told you guys, in New York session you have volume, but in the London you may have volume but not that much volume. Okay, so I'm buying here, but I'm showing you guys the thought process when you're trading in a market which has low volume. You see that on your, but bro, I think let me just remove one. Okay, so I'm just showing you guys what it means to trade when you're off session, and on top of that, there's no volume in the markets. You see that I've been taken out so many times. If you observe on the past, I've had so many losses. Okay, I had a loss on Brent oil, I had a loss on USD/JPY, another loss on USD/JPY. Okay, some buys on gold which made it up in profit, but you see, of course, the commission is just like $1, so that's not so much. And then on USD/JPY, you see that I've been losing money, $5 lots. I'm losing $5 per position times 10 positions, that's around $50. And on top of that, I'm also losing the positions. So, and all this happened because I was off session. Okay, when you're off session, price usually tends to fake you out a lot than in any other situation. You see here on USD/JPY, I would usually trade it on the M1 though. I love it on the high time frame like the H1 because the H1 is more clearer. But observe that price is actually stalling, although on top of stalling, we see that anything above this area of support, we had an area of resistance over here. So if price goes above this level one more time, I'll likely take out my entries and I'll just close, because anything above this level is good for sales. But price showed us the indication, the first indication that price showed us that we wanted to sell was when it came underneath this level of support over here. We had a level of support above that area. So once price came underneath that level, we sold all the way up to this area. But it may not happen now. Now this is the issue which I have when I'm trading this ICC concept. Okay, you have to be patient enough to wait for the correct time frame. Okay, you have to be patient enough to wait for the setup. Second, you have to be patient enough to wait for the correct session, because the new session is the best session for me to take my sales on this pair. But anyways, I'll be coming back to this pair very soon. Let's go to our challenge on what, on this 10k account. So see that we had $5 profit from the US dollar trade. GBPUSD, I told you that GBPUSD is going to buy, because I've told you that from the weekly perspective, anything above that level of resistance is good for buys. Okay, as simple as that. If we came underneath this level, we see that price gave you the first indication. The first time it came and went all the way to the top. Okay, so the second time that price comes above this level, which is now, we are going to have the same momentum. We're expecting the same momentum push. And since we are already in the London session, I will enter now with even bigger lots. I'll enter with a lot size of 2, because I know that although price is stalling, we shall have a continuation push. Okay, so price is likely to have another push to the upside in the next few days. So I've entered with the maximum lots, because I know that price, although it's resisting the top, we shall have a continuation, because anything above that level is good for buys for this pair. So we shall be holding, because we are in the London session, and during the London session there's lots of volume in the market. Therefore we're expecting some good buys on GBPUSD, and since GBPUSD is buying, we're expecting also some sells on USD/JPY, because we are having a weak dollar. When you have a weak dollar, it means that price is likely to have a push to the downside. Okay, push to the downside, push to the downside. That's the keyword, push. Okay, but just so you guys we see that price is making higher highs in the market. So at this level, price is making higher highs. There's this method that some group taught me. You simply go to your charts and you look for the awesome oscillator. Okay, you want to see price making a divergence. So see that price is making higher highs in the market, and really also price here is making higher highs in the market. So volume, there's volume backing up this new high in the market. Okay, so that's the first thing. Also if this sometimes it's not accurate, so you can simply just go to the you simply go to the another indicator. Go to the M15. The M15 price is making lower lows. Okay, so I'll use this indicator just to show you guys what I mean when I say that you have to trade you have to trade. So we go to the awesome set again. You see that price is making lower lows in the charts, but what's happening on the exactly, that means there is price is making lower highs. Okay, and then there is also a volume drop here by price making the lower lows. So you have lower lows and also lower highs in the market also. That means that currently on GBPUSD, sorry, USD JPY, you may see some bit of price actually starting to do what, to sell. But I want for your information, I want to close at this. I know most of you guys are afraid that price is going to sell, and you're afraid that price is going to turn bullish. But I can tell you for a fact that price is simply going to start pushing higher for GBPUSD, because there is volume backing up my claim. Okay, it's not like I'm building this claim out of the blue. There is volume. Price is making lower lows in the market, and price here is making higher highs. Actually, GBPUSD is a bit weird today. Let me first show you guys why I think GBPUSD is weird. So we have price making lower lows over here, and then we have price making higher highs over here. That's a bullish divergence, but it usually symbolizes that price is actually starting to do what? You see that price is making lower lows, and then price is making higher highs. And once I see that in the market, I know that price is actually trying to show me something. Am I missing something? I go to the H1, and with the H1, really, price is making what? Lower lows in the market. But from the weekly perspective, I've told you that anything above this level is good for buys. Therefore, I'll be holding my buys, because I know that price will potentially break out of this divergence to make an indication for buys. Okay. Yeah, let's wait and see. What you have to do right now is simply wait. You see, when you take an entry, it's very easy to take an entry on any pair that you want, but the hard part is actually waiting for that entry to play out, waiting for price to clear out orders, waiting for price to, you know, make all these massive moves in the market, all that. But just so you know, we can look for news on USD/JPY so that we can know the sentiment. So you go to USD/JPY news. Okay. So USD/JPY news. So we shall go to our news. Today is 22nd. So we're seeing that the exchange rate fell from 1574750 up to around. Okay, so we shall see here. So we see that the Bank of Japan interest hike to 0.75%, marking the highest borrowing costs since 1995. So Kazuo Ueda to speak to business will be on Christmas, giving markets another chance to look for policy signals. Remaining laws and against the euro and Swiss franc as a rate hike did not lead to support the currency. That's good, but from a technical perspective, I don't really see much for USD/JPY actually, because if I observe, let's compare with gold and we see. So USD. Okay, let's pair GBPUSD with gold and we see what the forecast is. So if you guys can observe, gold and USD/JPY, they're almost following each other, and this is a crazy part. It's a very crazy pattern in the markets because we know that these pairs are inversely correlated. Okay, they have like an 80% inversely correlation. So if the USD/JPY is buying, we're expecting that gold is going to start also doing what? It's also going to start selling. Okay, but for now, for the first time in almost I don't really know. Okay, for some good time, we see that price is now starting to do what? There's some bit of a divergence in the markets. Okay, so gold is buying, but USD/JPY is selling. So I'm expecting to see some bit of a correction in the markets, but we have been seeing gold and USD/JPY almost following each other, and it's really crazy. It's really, really, really crazy how this is even comparable. But yeah, let's wait and see what price gives us. But on USDJPY, we are likely to start selling, especially today is Monday. Yeah, Monday actually has one of the uh, biggest. I lose most of. I've observed that I lose most of my money on Monday. So Monday is not so good for trades because price is really just correcting. Okay, when price is correcting, you have all these negative and corrections which usually take you out if you have a small account. But just so you know, you can go back to my MT4 so that I can show you guys something. I told you that I'm going to be buying GBPUSD, although we're in loss of around $170, and it's not looking good for the account. But hey, we have seen that once price we had some bit of a consolidation. Price went above this area over here, so anything above this area is good for buys. So we shall just simply wait for price to give us another indication. But I won't trade. You know, when you trade with ego, when you trade with the fact that I have to win all the time, I think that's when you make most of the biggest mistakes in your trading career. Because when you trade with a mindset that I have to win all the time, you're going to trade with a negative mindset. But the mindset that says I want to get the money, now that's the mindset that actually makes you win. Because when you have after the money, you close that when you are in losses as quickly as possible. You don't even have to